You do need to be a person that's aware of what they look like when they're out in public. Everything you do is all about a first impression. And that first impression that you have is something that could catapult you to a job.
Most pilots don't understand what career opportunities are available in the world of aviation. They're making career decisions based on advice from friends or posts on internet forums, meaning they are taking huge risks with their livelihood without having all the details. This podcast was created to help you understand the aviation industry so you can find your dream job. Let's get ready for Pushback. Here's your host and my dad, Nick Fialka.
Hey, pilot, welcome back to Ready for Pushback solo show. I got a listener email that said that I should do a show about how to look like a pro with how you dress. And I thought it was really an interesting email, and it caught my eye, and I am certainly going to do that. He says, so many people look terrible in a uniform that's already put together for them. They come to work with wrinkled, baggy clothes or a short Laurel and Hardy tie or something that's way too long or just poorly put together. And I thought that was so interesting. And here's what's interesting about it. When we are proceeding through our jobs in aviation, there's a couple different paths, right? There's a civilian path and a military path. And if you are a CFI, there's a good chance that there's some kind of general uniform. Oftentimes it's like a polo shirt and a pair of khaki pants or something to that nature. And that's kind of where you start. If you're in the military, they throw a flight suit at you. That's usually 90% of your wear, which is great because you just come to work in pajamas. And the fatter you get, they have Velcro on the sides. So you can keep expanding until you're bingo Velcro. And then you've got to get a bigger size flight suit. What I'll tell you is in aviation, starting off, right, you got your polo shirt and you've got your khaki pants. Especially guys are not put together well. Oftentimes you are going to find guys wearing pants that are not tailored properly for their body. And most of us don't have a butt. It's just kind of nice and straight. So your pants are baggy and they're hanging off the edge of your hips. And your shirt is kind of tucked in. Unless you have an extra long shirt, it oftentimes comes untucked. And you just kind of look frumpy and rumpled. It doesn't matter if you're really skinny or not really skinny, is tough. And so I want to challenge people to find those clothes that work well for you. A little side story. I used to work in DC. I worked for a big consulting company. I spent a lot of time in the Pentagon, spent time on Capitol Hill, just going all around. But I had to wear a suit to work every single day, 5 days a week. Oftentimes we're working 6, sometimes 7 days a week. I had a whole closet full of suits and a whole closet full of white shirts. That's all I wore, white shirts, because I feel like a white shirt is crisp and classic and it never goes bad. And you start adding colors, you can easily make a statement that people think may or may not be cool. And so I just stuck with a white shirt, Brooks Brothers shirt, heavy starch, French cuffs. And I was the guy that wore the bow tie. Believe it or not, I got so many bow ties. I love a bow tie. I can tie them. You guys need help tying a bow tie? Let me know. But why did I wear a suit? It was culturally acceptable where I worked that you wore a suit. It just was, it was like Mad Men, right? And people would judge you on the quality of your shirt, on the quality of the look of your suit, and the quality and look of your shoes. And when you wear a suit every day, they don't last. I mean, they probably last 7-8 months, maybe. You start wearing out the pants first because you don't wear the jacket all the time. And about 8 months in, your suit needs to be replaced because you've worn it threadbare. Do you know how much a suit is? A suit is anywhere between, on the lowest low is like $200, and then it just goes up from there to $15,000, $20,000. But kind of the sweet spot is probably $400 to $700 for a suit. And if you're doing that every 8 months, that's a lot of commitment. And so what I would do is I would go to, there was an outlet in North Carolina that I would go to that sold suits, and I would buy suits there. And I got a good deal on them. They were cheap. But what I would do is I would have them tailored. And the reason I'd have them tailored is because then it fit my body and then it looked really sharp. And when I shined my shoes and I wore a nice bow tie and I had a crisp shirt on, and there we are with my cheap suit that is tailored, I looked just as good as the guy in the $10,000 suit. And I knew people that wore those kind of suits. And it just goes to show the importance of looking put together, because I could stand in the room with congresspeople. I could stand in the room with lawmakers. I could stand in the room with senior military officials or people from the State Department or whatever. And I could hold my own because I felt confident in the clothes that I wore. Plus I'm a talker. So, you got that. But everything you do is all about a first impression. So if you are CFI, or if you are working at a job that requires you to kind of wear a light uniform, meaning like a polo shirt and khakis or some light button up and shorts or something like that, you are constantly around other people that could be potential gateways to another job. And so the most important thing you have to think about is you have to always be ready to make a great first impression. And the thing you need to realize is when I look at you, I've already started judging you before you even open your mouth. If you walk up to me and I see you with my eyes, how you are put together, boy or girl, how you are put together talks a lot. Are your shoes shined? Are your shoes in good shape? Are your pants pressed? Is your shirt pressed? Is it wrinkly? Does your belt cross your body at the right spot? Women, is your blouse plunging really far down? Men, do you have big armpit sweat stains? Or women, both of you? Are you smiling? Are you wearing colors that are complementary to your skin tone? Do you look sharp? Look sharp. Because that first impression that you have is something that could catapult you to a job. Hand to God, like just being well put together and well spoken can get you a job, people. You never know when you're going to be networking, and you need to be always ready. So if you're going to get in a plane, if you're going to go anywhere where there are people, put yourself together. Looking good in your clothes gives you confidence. It makes you authoritative. I think about, in my world, the major airline world, life just kind of goes through the motions. When you are flying 3 to 5 days a week, sometimes people are flying 14 days a month, that kind of stuff. It's hard to not go through the motions. You clearly can't starch every shirt when you're on the road, but your pants can fit, and you don't have to have a parachute for a shirt. My friends at Flight Uniforms can get you a nicely cut shirt. I've met a lot of women that have a hard time finding pilot shirts that are favorable to their figure. And more than one I've met that have tailored their flight shirts and brought them in or let them out or do whatever they do, but so that they fit nicely. It doesn't have to be like you're on some catwalk. It just needs to fit you well. Or people whose belts are falling apart. I actually just bought a new belt. I literally just bought a new belt because my 2 belts were falling apart. I had them for 5-6 years, and I was done buying like the TJ Maxx belts and stuff like that. So you know what I did? I actually invested in a handmade belt. Came from Scotland. It was really nice, and found the dude on Instagram, and he made this really nice belt. Just came in today, but I'm excited to wear it. It's black. It's got a brass buckle. It looks legit. I'll probably wear it till I retire because it's high quality and it's a nice piece of material. So look good. Look good. Have that confidence. Walk with authority. People will respect you when you look put together. If you look like a schlub, people are going to think, what am I getting myself into? Right? You gain respect from people that they see the stripes on your shoulders, but really it's how you're put together and how you command yourself. So if you feel good in your clothes, you're going to command yourself better. It'll give you credibility. It will. You know what I think about? I think about Tron Williams. If you don't know Tron Williams, look him up on the internet. He owns Spitfire Elite. And that dude is put together. Everywhere he goes, he's put together. Go on his LinkedIn and look at his pictures. It's wild how put together that guy is. But he's also probably the most confident human I've ever met. That guy can go toe-to-toe with anybody and not back down. Everything he wears is well suited for his body. His shoes are always really nice. He's got that look, whether he's dressed like a pilot or he's dressed like a professional or he's just hanging out on the weekend. It's always well put together. And that's the crazy part. So I want to encourage you. You don't have to be a guy that just super invests in clothes and stuff like that. But you do need to be a person that's aware of what they look like when they're out in public, because you want people to take you seriously. And when they do take you seriously, you have opportunity. And when you have opportunity, you can get a job where you never knew you had the shot before. Because if I met two people and one was well put together and the other one wasn't and looked like a hot mess, I would be more apt to hire the person that is well put together on a Tuesday morning than the person who's just looks like Joey Bag of Donuts over there. And I want you to think about that. I've been talking for 13 and a half minutes about how important that is, because you need to set a standard. And it gives people the perception that you are in charge and you know what you're doing and you feel better about yourself and you're more adaptable and you can do all the things, because dressing professionally is making a positive impression. It's projecting confidence. It's all about authority and demonstrating respect for others, enhancing your credibility, advancing your career, setting the standard of professionalism, influencing clients, and adapting to the diverse pilot environment that you live in. And you are going to be awesome when you do. And if you feel like I'm preaching at you, I am. I'm preaching at me too. So let's get out there and get better so we can go get more jobs. We can keep moving up our mountain. We can keep that inertia going. This is important. Before you go, you need to know that 2024 is going to be unbelievably competitive in the world of pilot hiring. And you need to make sure that you separate yourself from the herd. The only way that you can guarantee that you'll land your dream job is by partnering with Spitfire Elite Interview Consulting. We are the only choice for application review and interview prep. We are the partners that you've been looking for from start to finish, and it's never too early to be part of our community. Just go over to my website, spitfireelite.com, and use the coupon code R4P to save yourself 10% on all of our services. Again, that's the letter R, the number 4, and the letter P to save 10%. So go out there and slay your interviews.